Hey everybody, it's Patricia from AtomicMonsters. I wanted to start out by saying it looks like I got my shit together and moving again. Missed everybody. I hope everybody's had the best pandemic that they possibly can have. Apologies for not having any videos for a while. It's been I got the wind knocked out of my sails at the beginning of all this, and now I want to start producing again, and I'm working on doing a whole bunch of reviews, unboxings, and maybe some custom stuff. And I'm going to try and work on getting a bunch done, possibly in one sitting, and then releasing them every week. I even, just for the sake of appearances, brought down a whole bunch of different t-shirts so that I can, between episodes, take off shirts just so you guys think it's a different day. But nope, it's all going to be the same day. As you can see here, I've got the box set, the Tyco Transformers train set, and I've also got the Transformers slot car set. And these are both complete, and I'm going to do unboxings and reviews of both of these to start. In this episode, it's going to be the train set, and these might wind up being multi-part episodes because they're going to unbox it, look at everything, review it, put it together, and if there's a need to do any repair work, repair what I can on the spot, and if anything needs to be put off till later, then we will then have a part 2 to that video. So in the first video, we're going to do the train, and in the second video, we're going to do the slot card set. So I'm going to set this aside for now. And I've actually got 2 more incomplete train sets in case we need parts. If there's anything in there that is not working properly, if I can't get it to work, I might swap something out of here. These are a very awesome trade that came in from a friend, and I'm really excited to get at them. And honestly, I think one of the big things that inspired me to get back into making videos again. So big shout outs and thank you. So this, first of all, just to open this up. This is the complete one, as it says. Let me turn this way. When I was a kid, I saw these in various catalogs. I think I saw it in the regular Sears catalog, and I believe it also showed up in Consumer. I'm brain farting on the name of that company. Oh no. Anyways, it always caught my eye because it looked really cool. It was not necessarily something that I wanted to own and play with every day, but it was definitely something that's for like my entire life I've wanted to at least have on hand and see in person. So I'm really excited to get a chance to do this. This set is really neat because all the cars have some level of transforming element. See this one's simple, it just opens up and there's a radar dish. That all of it. I think that's all that transforms on that one. I'll put that here. And then there's the coal carrier. This one has you flip it over, and there's a rocket launcher or laser. I like that looks like the weapon on Soundwave, which is interesting because it's an Autobot train set and it has Soundwave's weapon. I feel like that might be upside down. Let's fix that. Oh, I see. It has to go the other way. Huh. That seems like interesting, and by interesting I mean bad design choice, because if you look here on this side, everything's all flat and even, but on this side it's open, but you can't put it the other way. So it's like empty leg syndrome or empty arm syndrome on an actual transformer where part of it's open for no reason, except for they've put it on the outside side of things. I still think it's really cool though. And then we have the cargo car. They should have had a passenger car. See if we can open this up more. This turns into some sort of base. Oh, there's another dish. Let's look at the instructions to see where that goes. Oh, I see. This goes like this. That turns into a little base. Let's transform the whole thing. This here looks like it should open more, but it doesn't, or does it? I think that actually opens up just to get at the electrical parts. The plastic on this is aged really well. All my life I've wondered how this part transforms. And this is the first time transforming it. See, there's actually, I feel like there should be a custom version of this that's like Decepticon labeling, because this totally feels like it should be Astrotrain. That's to me, the best part of the whole piece is this. There's a reason why it's front and center on the box. Let's see if we can look again at each piece individually. That's really quite sweet. Tempted to actually keep one of the extra ones and do a custom, make it Decepticon theme just because of that. Because that totally looks like it should be manned by Soundwave, and this whole thing feels like it should be Astrotrain. Now, those not too familiar with Transformers, there's actually lots of train Transformers. The original Generation 1 American series, there's Astrotrain, who changes between a space shuttle and an old locomotive, old-fashioned one, and a robot, which I always loved just because it was so ridiculous that he changes from something so high-tech as a space shuttle to something so low-tech as an old coal-fed locomotive. A lot of modern Astro trains try to make him a modern train. As cool as it is, it's just not quite as fun. So I'm always happy when they return him back to being an old train. And then also in the Japanese toy line following the end of season 3, there was Raiden, which was the train bots, and that was actually based on a combiner that was designed at the same time for the Microchange line from Japan. Microchange and Diaclone both being the Takara toy lines that Hasbro bought the rights for. The train bots and the Constructicons are both six robots that combine into one giant robot, before the more Scramble City style with the aerial bots, Superior Defensor with the Protectobots, and the Stunticons with Menasor, and then going forward. But we didn't get the train bots in the initial run. They instead came out with the Japanese follow-up toy lines and series. And but this, I feel, this should have been Astro Train. That's what they should have marketed this as. Instead of having it be an Autobot train set, this should have been a Decepticon train set. Clearly, if you look at the modeling, this is clearly modeled after Soundwave's weapon. I imagine somebody at Tyco just had a bunch of Transformer parts and said, that looks like it'll be cool. And it's just a no-brainer, I think, just to have this be a version of Astro Train. You can imagine Astro Train as being like, it'd be a great extension of who Astro Train is as a character. Be like, have Astro Train be kind of like Omega Supreme in that he has a lot of components that he could separate into, because he can become an entire rocket and tank base. And you have a lot of Transformers with parts that go into hyperdimensional space. It'd be great in the cartoon if this had gotten acknowledgement, and if Astro Train, instead of always just changing into the locomotive, if sometimes he turned into this, would have been great. Anyways, I'm going to put this thing back together into the regular mode so we can start looking at the rest of this. There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about here. I've got to go in here. Does anybody else have one of these when they were a kid, or at least see it and wanted it? Talk about it down below. I'd really like to hear. And if you're new to the channel, please give me a like, follow, and subscribe. Produce a lot of great toy content. I used to do Magic the Gathering Commander content. I'm probably not going to be doing much, if any, of that going into the future. As much as I love playing Commander, my computer died on me last year, and I got out of streaming Commander at that time for that reason. And so I sold all my collection on Magic Online. And at some point I'll probably get back on there for any of my old Magic followers. But it's not going to be in the near future, and I want to make sure that the toy group and my store is really stable before I start spending extra money to rebuy my old collection. So that's not going to be happening for a while. All my life I wondered how that came out, because it always looks so flush. It turns out there's just a little door. I actually, for a while when I was a kid, wondered if all of this was cardboard, because it seemed to me it would be really flimsy, done in all plastic. Not that it wouldn't be flimsy in cardboard, but just the way companies tend to shortcut things. And yes, it is, because it's so thin. If you see how thin that is, it's a lot more sturdy and higher quality than I ever expected out of it. However, that being that it's a model train set, it's got the same design principles as a lot of other Tyco trains at the area, with lots of really fragile pieces like here, the rails and everything. This is not a good toy to just keep transforming back and forth and then have kids play with like a transformer. So it's kind of a design flaw. This is something that would be more for teenagers, I think. I think if you're a teenager and a Transformer fan in the 80s, this would be amazing. But there wasn't quite as many teenagers it was a kid's toy line in the 80s, because everybody they were aiming at was 10 to 12. And I don't think this would have been actually that great for the random 10 to 12 year old. This would be broken in a day for most kids, I think. So let's put these here for now. The caboose is here. And let's go look at the other parts. Here's the instructions, which tell you how to transform everything. It tells you how to put the cardboard towers. I'll put this back to the center. The cardboard towers together. There's also a comic book style instructions on how to do it all as well, how to connect the track together. It's also in French because we're in Canada. The set also came with these little robots. I'm going to pull these out and take a look at them. Now, something interesting about this, if there's any readers of the original Marvel comics, this character looks a lot like Lord Straxus. And if you actually go through, get this really close, and you go through and look at a lot of these, you can actually find these designs in some shape or form. And put them down here. You can find a lot of these designs in some shape or form in the old Marvel comics. They were often used as source material to draw a lot of the characters in the Marvel comics by the Marvel artists. So this would make a very good custom Lord Straxus. And I think I probably have an extra one in one of the other sets that I might paint up in his colors, and I think that'd be really cool. These are also very similar to Roguns, which are another 80s miniature robot figure about the same size. So if you're ever buying at a thrift store or anywhere, and you're buying any old Roguns, keep an eye out. You might find these guys in there too. They'll be more bendy, and they're in silver and this silverish metallic as well. There's a lot of Lord Straxus in here. A lot of these look vaguely based off of actual Transformers. I don't know why they didn't just sculpt a bunch of actual Transformers rather than making up. I guess there's a matter of they might have already had them or something. There might be some other set. Perhaps these are Roguns. I'll have to look into it. But these are fantastic. Should check to see how much this set's supposed to have, because it's supposed to be complete, but I'm short on Autobots. And I think that might be intentional. So let's get this out of the way. And let's set up the cardboard. See, I expected a lot of the train wings, the wings on, for instance, on the caboose, to be made out of this stuff. It wasn't until a few years ago that I had a better look at one. Not in person, I think it was online. This is huge. I'm gonna have to move these. That it became clear that these were all plastic, but as a kid I thought that the wings on these were cardboard. Perhaps there's a cardboard version out there. I could see that happening. Hopefully there's enough room on the bar for this. This is insane. It's interesting to see, if you look closely, that this is all some the people at Tyco made a diorama, like a miniature, and then took a picture of it. So it's not a painting or anything. It actually looks like it's built, which is good because I think it speaks to the extra work that went into this. Though it's possible this was already a design a Tyco set had, and they just slapped transformers on it. If anybody who's into trains has any old Tyco trains and recognizes this image, let me know. I'm just curious whether or not they built this specifically for this this set. However, they could literally be playing into the battle at the dam in the Transformers cartoon, which is an iconic battle between Optimus Prime and Megatron. All right, let's look at those instructions. I might need some help putting those together. Two towers. Okay, there's two of these. They're all very simple. Tab A into slot B or slot A. Okay, these are supposed to bend. All right, these are supposed to bend to go in these slots, I think, but they can't. That says C, that says C, and that says E. Oh, there we go. There's a different one. That goes on top of a different building. Curious whether or not this set has ever been actually put together. It seems like something as a kid I actually wouldn't have cared about as much. Or I might have actually, because I used to make Transformers out of paper craft anyway, so I can't get that one straight. Close enough. There's the other tower. A little bit twisted. Back to my elbow. This one's a little bit crumpled. Everybody give a big shout out to Melanie for the camera work she's doing. That's her hand. All right, so power station. Let's do the power station next. That's where the other top that I was working with goes to. Kind of funny how the first piece I grabbed that looks like the top to that thing is actually the top to this. There's 3 pieces that look exactly alike, and I somehow grabbed the wrong one right away. It's kind of funny how this entire train station's made out of cardboard, and I imagine if I was a transformer, it would feel like the entire world was made out of cardboard when I came to Earth. So I think this is a fair representation. Oh, we have smokestacks. This piece goes here. Coming together nicely. This is like the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. Which may mean that I need to start aiming a little bit higher. Apparently my lifelong dream was to put bits of cardboard together. Huh. Okay, I see, yeah. It has extra bends in it to make it more of a hex. Okay. This one's not going to fit in here as well. I guarantee you this made some parents really, really, really angry on Christmas Day. Daddy, can you put my train together? And then you spend an hour putting the kids' train together, only for them to transform the trains into vehicles, break them, throw them across the room. And then it's never played with again. This needs to go through this way. All right, so where should all of this go? Needs clear spots on here. That's one thing I would change, is there's not really clear spots for everything. Like there should be a slightly grayed out area that tells you to put stuff where. But if I was to guess, see, this should be close to the here. My best guess would be here. Let's go like that. All right, so now we get to the train tracks. I haven't put tracks like these together in years. My first train set I got as a kid. My dad got it for me. Let's see if there's a specific way it says to put the track together. Where'd the other sheet go? Did I put it back inside? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna want this piece over here. My first train set that I got as a kid, my father got it for me, and I was about 6. I think I was 6, and my dad got it for me for Christmas, and he also got me this bike that same year. And the bike he won, and it was a trick bike from a movie that was really popular that had a locking mechanism in the middle that if you unlocked it made it swing. And it was way too big for me. It was basically an adult size, almost adult size bike. I couldn't ride it until I was about 12. And his solution to the fact that it was clearly more bike than I was capable of operating was to weld the part that makes it swing shut, thus making the entire point of the bike useless. And similarly with the train set, instead of giving me the tracks all separate to put together myself, he glued it all down to a big huge sheet of plywood, and all the parts that are supposed to go under the tracks, the part with the barriers that raise up and down, or any of the other things that are supposed to, the tractor is supposed to go on, he glued down as well, but he glued them off the side. Huh. Feel like this actually needs a couple extra. I don't think this is actually going to turn out to be the same shape and size as the track on the board. Yeah, so I really never actually played with that train set, because all the funs of like playing with a train set and having the track to move around and adjust, I couldn't do any of that because it was all glued down. So literally it spent most of my childhood. I think I used it once when I first got it, and then it just kind of fell to ruin. And I definitely was the wrong age to be giving a train set like that. It was kind of like this quality of type of train set to a 5-year-old. Not unless you're able to work it with them. And my parents were separated, so like my dad wasn't going to be working it with them. And I think my dad probably won that as well. He also got me a watch that was clearly not a kid's watch. He was really bad at kids. Spin this around so I can do the other side. Come on. Hope the slot cars are easier. The coolest train set that I ever got to play with as a kid, though, was actually, I think, from the 60s or 50s. And it had really, really big, huge, thick tracks, solid steel. And the smell when you turned on the transformer and you tried to operate the thing. I don't know if anybody's ever operated any really old electronics, and sometimes they had that kind of really acrid ozone smell. It smelled like that. And it was really cool. The trains for it were huge. I don't know enough about trains to know what scale that was. I'm not even sure what this scale is. I think we almost got it. Here I started setting this up so that that piece would be over there, closer to the plug. And I wound up having to move everything around. Huh, there's an extra one of these. Anybody's never been really familiar with an electric train set, the way they work is that the tracks are metal and the current travels through the tracks and into the train through the metal wheels at the bottom of the train, and then that makes them completes the circuit and makes the motor go to turn the wheels. I'm actually going to take this piece out, move it over there, and switch it. And put that here, I think, where it's going to be closer to me and closer to the outlet. There we go. That's the other reason why this is not something you give to a 5-year-old. These things that literally have bare contacts. Connecting it to the tracks. I used to mess around with wires and such like this all the time. I actually, the transformer from my original set, which was much bigger than this, once I finally got old enough that I felt confident enough to take it off of the board that it was glued to, I started attaching it to all sorts of things I really shouldn't have, including I used to attach it to stompers, which had little tiny motors that weren't meant to take that much power. So I literally had my stompers attached by a long wire to a transformer and plugged into the wall, and wow, they went fast. I even had a remote control car that I modified I attached the transformer to it instead of the regular battery pack. And I blew that thing out really fast. I think I was about 16, 17 when I did that. That's crooked. That's better. Put the coal on. It's not right. There we go. And the cargo. Box car. There we go. And now not Astro Chain, the caboose. That would make this not Astro Chain's ass. Astro Train. There we go. All right, let's plug it in. If you see this posted, there's a pretty good assumption that we didn't explode and die right here. For all I know, this extension cord might be dead. I dug it out of storage. Yeah. Huh.
There is an outlet like down there, like at the bar.
Oh yeah, why am I not just plugging into that? Now it's DC coming out of these, so I'm not going to electrocute myself by touching them. I'd have to. Huh. It could literally just be that the wires aren't well connected. No. Alrighty then. Let's do a little experiment. So let's try a different pack. We'll try a different pack and a different engine. I was told that that they worked but weren't necessarily perfect, so they might need some work to fix them. Cleaning, possibly. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any dirty contacts or anything, and we do have a complete circuit. But I will try this one more train and this one more transformer. Funny, you need a transformer to work your transformer. I remember when shortly after we first started collecting transformers as a kid, a friend of mine, we were hanging out, chatting with him. I was at his place with his dad. This one, the thing's on backwards. And he was like, I have a transformer. And he like literally meant like a giant power transformer. locking mechanism's backwards on this one. I'm not going to connect it. I'm just going to see if we can get it to work. Now, these look like they're supposed to clip down, like if I put a wire into them and then press them down, that they'd snip down. And oh, I see. I was working them backwards. They're like, I didn't see the tiny hole to slip it through. They're like when you attach wires on the back of an old speaker or stereo. You gotta push them down first, put the wire in, and then let it up. Oh! Let's try the other train. See if I can open it up. Hope I have the right size screwdriver. Or I don't leave one. Oh, yep, that will work. Hate this screwdriver. Oh, that piece of track attachment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. I'm going to spray it with some deoxit. If there's anything that looks like it needs scrubbing, I'll scrub it. If it needs more work than that, then we'll probably go with an update video. I hate that when the screw's loose, but it's not loose enough to come out. If you put any pressure on it, it goes right back in. There we go. Oh, you're not only screwed in, you're also clamped in. Come on. Actually, might not have wanted to take those screws off then. Let's try this the other way. Too thin for me to get a screwdriver in there. Come on. I think we might be doing another video. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to try one thing. I'm going to put these screws back in first. I'm just going to spray it a little bit with a little bit of deoxit and hope that's enough to get inside and do what I need it to do. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to work on them between videos, possibly get this just disassembled and maybe make a video cleaning it, but there will be a follow-up video if I can get it working properly. Because this isn't ready to come apart really easy. I don't want to break it. The plastic where I need to open it is very thin. Anybody who is working with any old electronic toys, toy ray guns, any other toys with any electronics in them, this stuff is amazing. It's also good with working on old Walkmans and such. There we go. That's a lot better. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Run away! Come on. This motor inside might be a little seized or dirty. Oops. Keeps disconnecting in that spot. So this is catching. Let's partially transform it. There we go. I'm not going to open the rest of it. I think but it can move like that. There we go. Oh. This is going to need some more cleaning. Might work on cleaning it and do an update video. But as for reviews for this, I'd say this thing's a really, really fun piece of Transformers memorabilia to have. There's lots of really cool things in here, even if it's just like down to the design of these robots. Because that's clearly Lord Strax's. And a lot of these other guys show up in the background in Marvel Comics, mostly on Cybertron. Around the same time Lord Straxus first showed up. Come on. And this thing's a lot of fun. Now why don't you want to work? Huh. Did I just seize you up? Talking about how seized up you are, and you seize up more? This train has performance anxiety. There we go. Come on. Yeah, we'll clean it up. We'll get it working, and maybe do another, even a video just to showcase it working. But I think if you like trains, you like Transformers, either or if you're a Tyco collector, this is a cool piece. I definitely had a lot of fun doing this video, just messing around with it. That alone was worth what it would cost to get one of this in your collection. That was definitely a really fun hour, and we're gonna move on to the RC car. I'm hoping to start uploading these about once a week. Not RC car, the slot cars. And I'm hoping to do upload about one a week on these, with these reviews or a repair video or an unboxing or something. And it's great to be back. There'll be links for the toy group on Facebook if you're not already a member. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.